the advantage I have with this panel is that they stick to the time limit. They know that they have very little time on television, so I think you're used to speaking in TV-size bites. Thank you so much for being here, and it's nice to see you off screen. My question actually begins with both Mr. Narayanan Thirupathy and with Kovai Sathyan. How is it when your parties are no longer allies? How do you quickly change your stance? And do you get a directive from some headquarter, some person in the headquarters saying that now you have to say this about your allies, which you didn't say earlier?
No, first of all, we have to understand that this, whatever the alliance, comes only during elections.
Yeah.
So once the elections are on, alliance is on. Otherwise, we are growing our party, we are talking about our party and about the society.
But elections are always seem to be on all the time. I mean,
No,
and alliances break and, they come together even when it's not election time. So how do you quickly recalibrate your responses?
No, that's what I said. Alliances are made only during elections. So definitely we are not worried because the alliance, as far as we are concerned as a national party, the national high command clears the the alliance parties and the strategies, everything. So definitely it is not like other parties that when somebody is ruling here, you have got two different kind of politics. Like ruling party, say if it is DMK, then the Congress, then the VCK, other parties who have fought together, even in their symbols, they have to because they are ruling here. But in our case, it is not so. So we need to understand that also. And again, the 5 years, whatever, especially in Tamil Nadu, except DMK and AIADMK, which are bigger parties, definitely they both are very big compared to other parties. We are growing very fast, not unlike other parties, because they depend only on these two parties, whereas we don't depend. That's the reason.
AIADMK? Suddenly Annamalai is one day your friend and another day not. How do you deal with that?
Vanakkam. Political parties alliance or marriage of convenience. So divorces happen very fast. To better put it in the present scenario.
And remarriages also happen.
True.
To
but
the same
here,
person.
What's happening right now with the emerging world, with the youngest population in the world, it is like live-in relationship. And the onus lies on both of them. If we part ways, mutually with respectfully. Yes, there are some...
Not always respectfully.
Yes.
No.
Respectfully, but there are some aberrations that will happen here and there. You can't expect everybody in a political party to behave the same way. Like what we talk in TV need not be the same on the ground. The ground will be more fearful. So on the ground you see in-laws.
Yeah.
On the TV you see the husband and wives. So that's how it is.
Right. But is it difficult when you meet in person someone who was your friend till yesterday and suddenly becomes your rival?
Everybody understands it clearly that the fight is on screens, on the ground, on ideologies. We don't have any personal enmity against each other. Mr. Dharanidharan is here. We fight on the TV very fiercely. I have nothing personal with him, nor he has anything personal towards me. Yeah, I think political maturity is there to a certain extent that you can see on the top brass levels as well.
Right.
Maybe on the ground, you can't inculcate that kind of knowledge and behavior. But that's the entire political culture.
Yeah. I want to come to you and ask you what it's like to be on television. Sometimes, are you prepared all the time for the questions that are thrown at you? When a curveball is thrown at you, do you sometimes make a mistake? You look back and say, oh, I wish I'd said that.
I think retrospectively, I always think that I could have given a better answer. But what I'm not happy with the current TV scenario is that the most of the debates do not focus on what people want. We don't speak about public good. We don't speak about spending on healthcare. We don't speak about education. We don't speak about policies. In fact, just before I came to speak, I was reading an article which said about on the day when the price of fuel was increased by about 10 rupees, they analyzed about 25,000 seconds of television debates. On that specific day, 40% of the time, I think it's April 2022, 40% of the time was dedicated for Ukraine, Russia war, 21% on Prime Minister Modi's publicity, 24% on Hindu Muslim, and only less than 5% on price rise. But as a television debate, what should it focus? It should focus on people's issues. So price rise is one of the bigger issue. It's one of the most important issue. Inflation is an important issue. Unemployment, even like 2 years data I have on television debate, mostly English and Hindi channels, only less than 5% was focused on doing public good, focused on unemployment, focused on
But that's also a function
growth.
of the way parties are, right? I mean, is there no way that you can steer the debate towards these questions?
I think debates are decided by the channels, no? If I have a say on what topic they have to choose, then I would
You
say...
can always bring in the real issues, as they say.
No, I try to bring in data, but again, you know, most of the anchors, as everyone here would agree, want more masala.
Yeah.
In fact, when me and Aiyshwarya go on debate, they somehow want to create, they bring in Kaveri issue and they want to bring and show that there's a problem with Congress and DMK.
Right.
So they kind of try to not talk about policy, only to
So
give
is
masala.
the media to be blamed for everything, including creating trouble in politics?
No, I'm not blaming media for everything, but what I'm trying to say is the quality of debates, the topics over the years have deteriorated, right? I think that is a problem. Media should be informative, right? It can't be an entertainment channel for people who need political news. It has to inform people. Does it inform right now? I don't think so. It informs right now.
So, Aishwarya, do you see yourself as an entertainment star or as a political analyst?
Honestly, after 6 years of national television, I see myself as a survivor of PTSD and those tiny boxes and having to listen to some of the most infuriating, non-fact related tirades. So I'm a survivor in that aspect. But honestly speaking, ma'am, and yes, the Kaveri issue is very important. You are too. So they do try that a lot between the DMK and I have a very good allies, not like the other side. But honestly, with TV debates today, and I've seen this for quite a while, there is a systematic deterioration because it has become pandering to what primetime viewers do want to watch.
Which is?
While, for example, a lot of people would prefer issues of price rise and inflation, or let's say human rights issues that are happening all around, there is a wider market for more primal topics. For example, where a particular place of worship is happening, or who took a dip in which river, and those end up becoming focus. And then when they try to bring a political angle into it, what we have to do, and what my party has been doing consistently, is we refuse to do it. We say it's either a state prerogative or we say it's a communal issue. We will not engage.
You also have a list of anchors whom you don't go to, right?
Yes, ma'am, because I think it was a very concerted effort on part of my party where we said, if we see trash on the road, you can engage with it or you can just walk past it. And I think we don't want to be legitimizing hate, because when you are the anchor, you have a certain amount of control over your panel, whether it is muting my mic, which has happened way too many times, or whether it is basically contextually distorting what I'm saying. We do not want to be while we understand journalistic freedom and quote-unquote integrity of some of these anchors, we don't want to co-opt into that system. Because if I'm sitting there and I'm hearing an anchor make some of the most rank statements about people of particular communities, I can choose not to be part of it. And that is what we have done. Because when we cannot control the sort of hate being vitiated through media, we will not engage with it. We will not add to the fodder. And we are in certain ways hitting at their viewership also by doing that. It's a, as they said, a weird form of non-cooperation on part of my party in that regard.
Mr. Thirupathy, do you also have an informal list of channels and anchors that you don't engage with?
No, in fact, last 1.5, 2 years, we boycotted the entire television debate in Tamil Nadu. So it happens because, like she said, we have a lot of experience in Tamil Nadu also. And almost we have seen...
Does it help to boycott?
Pardon me?
Does it help to boycott, to not
definitely,
be...
because see, there is no, we felt that there is no use till they give space. We are talking about the space. It is not the question of how many people are talking. It is the question about what is the discussion, what is the debate, the topic, and how many people are talking for or against. That's the main thing. So the space was not given to BJP, and that's the reason we boycotted. See, it happens. Even DMK has boycotted so many days. So even the AIADMK has boycotted. So the thing is that we need to understand that, yes, in Tamil Nadu, to some particular ideology, the media, entire media, if not entire media, at
But
least
you get
80%
so much
is there.
space elsewhere. How much space do you need?
No, in the sense, see, space means I'm talking about only the debates.
Yeah.
Okay, when there is a debate on a particular topic, there should be space equally for and against. That is not happening in Tamil Nadu. That's because of the ideology what the media or the anchors have. And so as far as we are concerned, of course, we don't, personally speaking, I don't want to, avoid any kind of debates because we need to fill in, we need to say what we want to say. But unfortunately, the situation arises. So that is the problem. And almost all parties, regardless of any alliance or, opposition, we boycott debates. And we say, we insist the television companies, televisions, that they should give space and they should not be partial.
I want to ask the DMK, when you see issues like Sanatan Dharma suddenly becoming national controversies, does it not bother you? Because these sometimes seem to be totally manufactured.
See, I think DMK as a party does not say one thing before the election and one thing after the election. We've been having a consistent ideology that comes from the days of Justice Party or even before. So it's more than a 100-year-old ideology. So when DMK had opposed Sanatan Dharma, we made it very clear that we are not against Hinduism, right? We only said we want equality in Hindu religion. Are we consistent with that? Yes. That is why if you look from 1970s onwards until recently, when our leader made people of all castes could become priests, so we are not doing anything against a specific religion, but we want to make the religion inclusive. So it's as a DMK spokesperson, most of the time it's very easy for me to different things because our stance have been consistent. Because we always wanted equal society, and anything and everything revolves around it.
But it doesn't necessarily get projected that way, right?
No, I think that's what I'm trying to, that's why we as spokesperson are trying to project in the right way. So when I had the most number of debates during Sanatan Dharma, at least the national media, and my stance has always been that we are not against any religion, we are not against any faith, right? We have a lot of believers in the DMK, right? The present chief minister's wife is a strong believer, she goes to temples regularly, right? So that is what we stand for. But we do not want spirituality to come into politics, and we do not want people to, right, to be differentiated based on religion, and we want equality in every religion, every section of the society. I think that's what we stand for. We have always fought for it. In fact, we have lost the election because of this policy. Right?
I see Kovai Sathyan smiling. Why is that? Laughing now, not just smiling.
Yeah. No, whenever we go on debates, we are like cat and rats. We always say that the double standards of DMK is well true and exposed. The last 15 minutes, this is another example. Mr. Dharanidharan is crying, saying that the national media are narrative drivers. They are not no more news givers. They are narrative drivers. Let them introspect what's happening in Tamil Nadu. They have impersonators in the name of economists, in the name of...
Impersonators?
Yeah, impersonators in the name of economists.
That's a strong word.
Impersonators in the name of healthcare experts. Impersonators in the name of any stream you call it. So the entire media is filled with sleeper cells of DMK.
Sleeper cells?
Yeah.
I've
none
never
of
heard
the
such
none of the
strong
channel
words.
topics, none of the channels have the free hand to choose their own topic. That's the reality today. That's what happening here. So let's look at what we are at home. Well, he says that the national media is driving something different. They are narrative drivers. What needs to be talked is not being talked. Yeah, true. That's what happening in Tamil Nadu also. The failure, 30 months of DMK government has not been spoken in the debates, TV debates.
Would you like to respond to that?
No, I'll definitely respond. See, in fact, I go for the CNN debates on specific show. In fact, I have to tell, there was 5 panelists in that show. And then I was DMK. There's someone from RSS, a senior journalist. And then there was, I think, Narayanan Thirupathy, sir. And then there was someone from Hindu religion movement. And then there was analyst. All of them are BJP and one DMK, and the anchor was also BJP. So when the show ended, I told
Anchor
him...
was BJP. You mean
Yeah, he was giving more point. He was speaking better than all the BJP A team and B team put together. So when the debate ended, I told him, boss, I think you are the best spokesperson. It was 5:1. So you are the best best of the lot. But having also said that, I get the list of TV debates we participate in Tamil. In fact, the last 1 month, if I can recollect, DMK's participation has been only 30% because most of the debates did not need our presence also. So Tamil debates, if you look, are 1 hour. Each channel has 1 debate, and every panelist at least has 10 minutes to speak, put their views twice or thrice. So for example, depending on 3 or 4 panelists, you have at least 15 minutes to 20 minutes to put your views across uninterrupted. That doesn't happen in national media, right? And for example, there's one prime time show, right? It happens in one channel, which is most viewed show apparently. And that anchor, right, calls panelists by names. He said, your education is bogus. You are stupid. So what example of I think everyone knows the anchor who I'm talking about. But
I'm sorry, do we know, do people know this anchor?
English, mostly 9 to 11, right? Supposedly the most watched show in India, where everyone screams, right? He calls the panelists by names. But what kind of society are we leading up to when young people are watching that show? Then where the anchor bullies, then bullying becomes norm in the society, right? As politicians, as public servants, as journalists, we are all here to create a better society. Our society will be better than today. But if an anchor is kind of calling people by names, bullying, where does it lead to?
Mr. Thirupathy wants to respond.
No, see, you are saying that, out of 5, 4 were on the other side. So he has got a chance and to say that he will not attend it. See, that's what I'm saying. You have to choose. If you feel that you are bullied, after participating, you come here and say that. I think that is not right. In fact, I choose my debates. In fact, I say if that person comes, don't call me. I will not say, I will not come. I will say if a person who is not speaking correctly or he talks singularly, please leave me out. That's what I say. I choose. So he can always choose it, even the anchor. But as rightly Mr. Sathyan said, the Tamil Nadu media, we are all known. We all know what is happening, and they are DMK members, some anchors. And at least 3-4 channels belongs to DMK. At least 3-4 channels. And at least 3-4 anchors are very clearly seen with the DMK people.
I want to ask the young people, sorry.
So basically what happens to the BJP in Tamil Nadu is what happens to the opposition across the country.
That's what I say.
What it is. No. So at least somewhere we see the shoe on the other foot.
Yeah, small correction. What happens to AIADMK and BJP? In vernacular, the market share of DMK...
So at least in that you're in a coalition together en masse.
At least in that they're still
together.
The market share of media by DMK and DMK-owned people in Tamil Nadu is more than 70%, if I'm not wrong. It's more than 70%.
How much was it when your party, before its split, was previously run
by
the former chief minister?
We don't own any media. We don't own.
Yeah, Jaya TV and JNews.
Remember the lead. I'm from Karnataka and even I know this.
Electronic and print media, we don't have a say. But what I'm saying is the direct association, indirect associations of DMK in Tamil Nadu media is more than 70%. That's the market share.
That's because, if the media, a particular media is against the ruling party, then in the government cable it will go behind. So
like
obviously they are threatened. They are
previously.
threatened by the government. It's a fact. Everybody knew that. And see, one channel which is operating in the 001 will go to 416 or 418. So people will not watch. That's what is happening in Tamil Nadu.
But I think the point Aiyshwarya made is what happens to you here happens to the rest.
No, I don't think so. No,
nationally.
it is not happening like that. The central government doesn't do it.
Can
But
I?
the state government does it.
Sir, systematically, and this is something I take umbrage with, is whether it was NewsClick, whether it was Quint, whether it was NDTV repeatedly, whether it is think tanks having their FCRA regulations revoked, whether it's the fact that you have 80+ journalists being put under some of the most severe scrutiny, journalists being booked under UAPA in Jammu and Kashmir under the Public Safety Act, where you can detain somebody without allowing them even access to a phone for weeks. That is what is happening to journalists and media channels today. Is if you do not bow, forget bow, if you do not crawl, that is what happens. And I can say this very proudly that this portal, the Indian Express, has stood very strongly against that. And I think that way, that journalistic integrity, which is why I'm very proud to be here. But You see what happens. They either break your back or you
And we
kowtow
have
voluntarily.
We have
And that
seen
is a
what
fact.
Congress did to Indian Express.
Talk
you want
about,
that?
you want to talk about emergency, sir? We
You
can
want
all
that,
go
I will
back
tell
to
you.
those days.
Could I just ask some of the young people at the back to, do you have a question? Do you watch them on prime time? Do you have a view on how they fare? Would you like them to say different things? Would you like a more informed TV debate? I'd like to hear from you. Do you watch, firstly, do you watch them on television or do you get your news from other sources? Anyone?
So good morning, and my ultimate goal is, and the people's expectation is, finally is the welfare and the development and development of the weaker section and
What is your question, sir? Do you watch them on television?
yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, so what is your view? Do you like the debates? Do you want them to be more informed, more informative?
Yeah, actually, I do watch, and it's yeah, I do watch the debates of people talking in various medias like NDTV and other medias. But my thing is, more than that, what they want to serve the people, that should be mentioned clear.
Okay. Srimati, you had a point, yeah.
Yes, I think he conveyed it in the end. It is like more, sorry to use these terms, but it is more like a cat's fight. We don't see any end result. We don't see any innovations happening. We don't see any promotional thing about the country or about any particular innovation being brought about. It is always whether you are right, I am right, why am I right,
But
why should I be right?
they've already blamed the media, right?
Yeah. That's left to the media.
Do you
have
think
to
that
talk to
they-
the
No,
media.
I think even when the media questions something, they have the power to say something against
Exactly.
and bring out their point.
Yeah.
So that is what
I
is
think
required.
practically
And
it's
I
not
would
right.
vouch, I would speak for the children because I day in and day out live with children. Children do not want to listen to any of your debates. They do not want to sit in front of the television to see such debates because they feel they are put down. Students, we say youth power and India is the most youthful country.
And they're
What
all
are you
like
doing
that.
to the youth?
See.
What are you doing?
See, I'll tell you what. We don't decide the topic, number one. And we don't decide with whom we are going to fight. But
You just said that you
No,
sometimes-
that's
yeah.
what. I'm talking in general, not about me. So the media has to be more responsible in, getting the topics, in getting the panelists.
Can I add on also?
Please.
Dharani,
Yes.
Dharani, 1 minute. Dharani, 1 minute. So the media is responsible in the entire thing. Whatever she says, if it is true, then the media has to be blamed.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
Ma'am,
All
it's
of
like,
you, yeah,
it's like
please
going
take
to an
turns.
examination. I only answer the questions. I don't decide the question. Even if I answer, the anchor has got the authority to say, no, that's not right, I'll give it to the other person.
Sir,
You can just say
I
it's
am
out of the
absolutely
syllabus.
understand.
They will mute the audio.
No, I absolutely understand
Just
that.
10 seconds, man.
4 times.
No, this is what happened. I have to ask the 10 seconds like how I asked to an anchor.
Perfect.
My time is limited, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. And I have 2 customers. One is your generic customers, I'm Janta like you, and I have my party men. If I don't respond to what Salem Dharanidharan does, I go back to my party, I have to answer them, right? I don't get to meet you very quite often. You get to meet me on the TV channel, but I don't get to meet you quite often. But what I live day in and day out is my own fellow people. They are my primary customers.
Do you get pulled up?
Definitely.
Yeah?
I
Get rebuked?
I get whacked left, right, and center.
Miss Kaveri,
The
one
moment-
sec. They keep blaming the media, but 4 times if they refuse such topics to media, we are not going to come and speak about this. You think media will push them and pull them to speak about
No, I
it?
think we do it. I think often than not, we have actually refused to speak on many topics. In fact, last week there was Al Jazeera's news report in which the Prime Minister office had apparently tried to influence the 14th Finance Commission ex-head to reduce funding for the states. And we wanted Tamil channels to take the topic. None of the channels took. But it's a very important issue. A sitting Prime Minister wanted to reduce, wanted to influence the Finance Commission and wanted them to change their recommendation from devolution of funds from 42% to 32%.
That was a
If
rumor.
the head of the Finance Commission refuses, and the Prime Minister himself, after 2 weeks, comes and says, states are responsible for growth of this nation, so that's why it's 42%. So this none of China want to take. And as you rightly put, if, for example, for a country to grow, you need to innovate and research. India's research development R&D funding is about 0.7%. Israel's about 6%. Germany is about 5%. Are we talking things like that in television debates? No. Or television channels speaking about it? No. Right? I think as children, what do they need to know? What actually is development? What actually is growth? Right? For a country to grow, you need to have human capital. Are policies going towards human capital? Are we having discussion on that? So that way I agree. Channels have failed, but what do we do? Even if we boycott, as DMK and Congress, we have boycotted many anchors as the India coalition decision. But if I don't go, they call someone as DMK supporter and they run the debate. So in fact, I tell my party that let's go for all the debates, because even if I don't go, they send someone else on behalf of DMK, who's not even DMK. At least what I speak, I have repercussions. What the other person speaks, he could also be a BJP person going and speaking as a DMK supporter. The party doesn't have any hold.
Aiyshwarya, you have a point of view?
You know, one of the things when you speak about how it is largely our fault, and I'll be honest, I don't watch any of my shows. I don't think my family does either, because they see me shouting enough outside of TV studios. But largely what has happened today with the media, ma'am, is that you are in a world of binaries. It is a yes or no. You are a hater or you are part of it. You have co-opted or you have not. There is no space for a nuanced discussion whatsoever. And it is that demand and supply that drives the entire ecosystem to a large extent. And I'll give you an example. While you may haul us up for not making a change, what happens to us is this. Forget mics. The other day, specifically with the finance commissions, I've always spoken about how the southern states do not get enough because the TORs disadvantage us. Karnataka saved itself because our forest cover went up, but the southern states have been penalized for having reached the replacement level of population, which I hauled up and I basically brought up and I said, you asked for us to have these population control measures, and now you're incentivizing us or taking away what is our devolution. My anchor's response was, are you saying you South Indian do not like the North? Are you saying it is a North-South divide? Are you saying the people of UP do? I said, ma'am, for every rupee that Tamil Nadu sends, you see the fraction of the amount that Tamil Nadu gets back. It's an economic argument. But when my anchor is pushing it towards a North-South divide, when my anchor is saying, do you hate the Prime Minister because he's Gujarati? I said, there are 100 other reasons maybe, not because of where he comes from. But that is what ends up happening. I cannot have a nuanced, fact-based argument whatsoever. And to ensure we get our stand across, while we do boycott, we end up making larger, broader statements. Debates, if you want your news, you want your facts, you go read the editorials or read the newspaper, the conference here. You can't expect it from TV debates anymore, and that is a harsh reality.
I'm sorry, but I have to end it. Yeah,
I'll
just-
give a
yeah,
point.
yeah.
See, everybody's expectations are different.
Yeah.
As a party person, my expectations are different. After the recently held rally, I want the media to take up, is DMK running the dynasty rule? Is it reinforced? And is it evident? For me, I feel that is more important for the people to know, because a person who cannot uphold democracy within his party, how can he uphold democracy within the state what he is heading to? I feel this is important for the people to know. So I expect the media to take up that. But otherwise, yeah, there might be pressures from the ruling government not to take it up. And let's understand, let's call a spade as a spade. News channels are no more news givers. They are narrative drivers. And they try to match their narrative, thinking that they balance both the expectations of the people who are representing as well as people who are watching. So there will always be flaws. You certainly can't have a 100% perfect topic and say welfare of the people. You put a title welfare of the people, probably out of 10, only 2 will watch. Their TRP will come down. Their business will take a hit. So they have to balance
You
both.
have a
For a
response.
change.
Yeah, last words.
For a
both.
change.
Can I just add on? See, in the last 22 years in Tamil Nadu, DMK is in power in 7 years, and AIADMK is in power for 15 years. Right? So what happened to the media then? Why are they not talking about it? On bottom line, before the last word, I want to say this. Problem with media exists across the globe now, for a simple reason that because of internet revolution, for a news to be, let's say, news that's coming out from Burkina Faso, right? If a French AFP is covering it, for every other channel, for New York Times or to the interviewer, to rewrite the news takes less than a minute using AI. So there is no incentive for them to have journalists. And people consume news from social media. So most revenue, if you look print, even Indian Express, print, or even regular channels, the revenue is reducing drastically. And that is why from New York Times to Le Monde in France, to Frankfurt Allgemeine in Germany, two newspapers here like NDTV or CNN or News 18 are increasingly being owned by big crony capitalists. And this is a problem. We need to work new models for news media to be sustainable, to be profitable. Only if they are profitable, they will be away from the influence of corporates and so on and so forth. I'm speaking away from a politician. I'm talking as someone who's interested in policy, that we need to find models to find media profitable, which is very important and pertinent.
But I want to
for
tell
democracy.
all of you that you can always trust an established medium like ours to give you a nuanced debate and to give you space and time. So you don't necessarily always have to rush to television debates. You're most welcome to come here and have your say. Thank you very much. Do you want to have, I think you want to say something. Yeah.
See, for a change, I go with, Aiyshwarya.
Oh,
because,
congratulations.
Because for the sake of, for this thing, in one channel, there was a debate. And 5 people were there, and suddenly, an English channel, and suddenly one person started talking in Hindi. I said, see, I don't understand Hindi, so let us not have any conversation in Hindi. But the anchor said, no, I understand Tamil, sir, I understand English, I will translate for you in Tamil. Then I said, allow him to talk in his comfortable language. That's what she said, the anchor. Then I said, okay. After 5-10 minutes, my round came, I started talking in Tamil. Then she asked, then everyone, started shouting, how can you talk in Tamil? Then I said, see, allow me to talk in my comfortable language, okay? So then she said, the anchor says, since you don't have an answer for what we have asked, you are talking in Tamil. So North-South divide, yes, some channels do this. That
And
should not
some
be.
papers, very good. Thank you so much.